Welcome to New Orleans, the city that is unique in its very own special way. Celebrated for its food, culture, religion, and community, this unique city is divided up into 17 wards. Beginning in the 1980s, residents began to give new cultural meaning to wards as part of their local identity. Away from downtown, there is still rich history and culture in New Orleans. In fact, many argue this is where the culture comes from. The 7th and ninth wards are geographically the two largest wards in New Orleans. The 7th ward is so large, it is separated into 3 distinct neighborhoods. The lower ninth ward, which gained national attention for its tragic devastation in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, the upper ninth ward, and eastern New Orleans. Food security remains a vital element of any sustainable community, and in fact is a return to the tradition of urban farming and independent living rooted in the lower ninth ward. Once upon a time, there was access to fresh food, growing healthy lifestyles through urban agriculture in neighborhoods. Once, the lower ninth ward and 7th ward was filled with backyard gardens, outdoor markets, and corner stores.
My black boy is full of fire. My whole tribe is having fun.
Alright, so I'm right in front of this Villa St. Maurice where I'm going to have an interview with a community member that's been here in the 9th Ward her whole life. So she really knows this community, and this community is really, really dear to her heart. I think actually when I was coming in, I saw like a chicken place on the corner. And I know that a lot of the community members from the 9th Ward or the people that live in the 9th Ward get a lot of their food from these places. And I just want to kind of check and see what they have, what kind of food they have, what they're serving to the community members, and just check a look, all right? So we're about to go in right now and go interview Miss Williams, and we'll see how that turns out. All right, bye.
My name is Cheryl Williams. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. I'm from the Lower Ninth Ward.
Can you just tell me a few things about the food that you kind of grew up on?
Oh, well, I grew up on real healthy food. My grandfather had 2 gardens, one behind our house and one behind my aunt's house, and 2 blocks from where I stayed. And he grew all our vegetables. The only thing we had to go get was salt meat for our beans and greens, because we had chickens in the yard that laid eggs. So we basically ate fresh grown things. We made our neighborhood, our playground, the streets, or the sidewalks, or the yards. I was raised in was fortunate to have a yard. So a lot of the kids would come by me on the porch, and we would play jacks, marbles, hopscotch, jump rope. So I cook my greens, my cabbage, my spinach. I eat a lot of salads, and I bake my chicken. I broil my chicken. You know, I broil my meats. I'm not much of a red meat eater, but on occasion I will eat a hamburger or some ground meat. You know, but I cook from scratch. When the commodity it's a subsidy of food that they give the elderly. It'll be the cheese, the oatmeal or the grits, and some canned fruits, canned vegetables, dry beans, rice. You can sometimes get a peanut butter. They'll give us 2 jars of some type of juice, orange juice, grape juice, cranberry juice, something like that. Well, it's changed a lot because the younger people, they basically really don't worry about cooking fresh vegetables. Everything is fast food and greasy food, you know. And a lot of neighbors we shared, you know, whatever my grandparents would cook on Sundays, we would give the next door neighbors some, and they would vice versa. They would give to us. So we basically came up in a neighborhood where everybody knew everybody. Everybody's children was for the neighbors. We was raised up on good eating and sharing. Food is nutrition for me because I'm on a salt-free diet. and I have to eat certain things certain way, and it's my life because it keeps me going. I have diabetes, and I have to eat at certain times. I have to always have something ready to eat, and with the peanut butter and the canned fruits, I could always stick that in the refrigerator and have something to hurry up and snack on in time of need. The juice is really nourishing because I take my medication with the juice.
Alright, so I am outside right now, the St. Maurice grocery store. We're going to go inside and see what's in here and what they have, the things that they have to offer the members of the Ninth Ward. Okay, so it looks like we maybe have like some turkey necks. I'm not sure, those may be like some Tostitos or something in the back there. Some pig feet here, looks like. I'm not sure exactly what's back there. We have some corn in the cob. Actually looks pretty good. Some shrimp, some peeled shrimp that you have to like peel yourself. Some potatoes and some sausage as well. So this store has like some really good supplies for cleaning, looks like. And they have a whole menu too for sandwiches and plates and breakfast items, salami, hot sausage, hamburger, boiled ham. And then this is really cool too. They actually have fresh chicken here. Look like some chicken quarters, and some lettuce, cauliflower, celery, potatoes. I see some ginger back there, some peppers, oranges and apples. There's a whole lot of eggs, some lemons, and then butter, cheese. We have some hot dogs, some hog head cheese, some sausages. And look, there's some bacon too. Some whole milk and water. Oh, look at that. That's some soy milk. And there's a couple of cartons. That's pretty cool. Alright, so now I'm back in my car. I'm actually sitting outside of the St. Maurice grocery. I was pleasantly surprised at the things that they had. I saw some vegetables, I saw some fruit, eggs, soy milk, of all things. They had soy milk in the refrigerator, the whole milk as well. But I was actually pleasantly surprised. I had some lettuce, some celery, and then they had the hot bar. The hot bar, not so much. You take it as it is. Pig feet, like they had some corn on the cob, potatoes, things of that nature. I was talking to the woman inside who was behind the cash register, and she said that there's a lot of foot traffic of people who come through this store and actually eat off the line and buy those groceries because they're so convenient. And being right in the Ninth Ward and on this corner, there's a lot of foot traffic that comes through. So that's what I got from the St. Maurice grocery, and very, very surprising.
Oh, by and by, when that morning comes, when all of the saints of God is gathered.
I just interviewed two amazing individuals, Mr. Tony and Miss Stephanie. They were both born and raised in the 7th Ward. Mr. Tony currently does not live in the 7th Ward, but instead uptown with his family. And on the other hand, Miss Stephanie currently resides in the 7th Ward till this day. She was telling me a little bit about how she moved to Atlanta, but something always brought her back to New Orleans, specifically the 7th Ward. So we really talk about food and nutrition and about their childhood and what they grew up on and how has it changed since childhood to adulthood. So take a look at this.
My name is Stephanie.
Stephanie, all right. And where are you from? Where do you live?
Right now I live in New Orleans, the 7th Ward area of New Orleans.
My name is Antonio Darrensburg, Sr.
All right, so Mr. Antonio, are you from New Orleans?
Yes, I was born and raised in New Orleans, downtown 7th Ward, in between Elysian Fields and St. Bernard Avenue, that general area.
So most of my family is from the 7th Ward. My grandparents on both sides are from the 7th Ward. My dad grew up there, my mom grew up there, so I have a lot of roots in the 7th Ward. That's kind of like where my bloodline is, if that kind of makes sense.
We had a really wonderful childhood. I'm the youngest of 4 children. I'm the only boy. So, you know, I have 3 older sisters, and all our friends from that area was just such a mix of just different families.
I mean, I have specific memories about food that are tied to the 7th Ward. Once a month, I remember going to, there was like this church or some sort of, I don't know, it was just this ominous brown building on St. Bernard Avenue, and we would go there and we would get our, what we call commodity food. So we got our big block of cheese, we got our corn flakes, not Frosted Flakes, not the brand name, but we got our corn flakes, we got our milk, just like the basic stuff. And then the summers I talked about, I specifically remember, because there was a bunch of kids at my grandmother's house. So instead of her like cooking food and bringing us in for lunch, I just remember her handing us like cold hot dogs. For some reason, that was the go-to lunch, just grab and go maybe. I don't know. But I don't necessarily remember a lot of grocery stores in the neighborhood.
The type of foods we ate during childhood was really home cooked meals.
Okay.
My father, again, being a good old Creole boy from Louisiana, mother being from Honduras, everything was, and my father actually used to garden, so we used to grow a lot of our own fruits and vegetables, and he even had a chicken coop in the yard, right? We had a cornfield. People used to make fun of us, but a lot of the foods we ate came from there. So we always ate, I want to say, healthy meals. You really all from neighborhood places. Like on Saturdays and Sundays, Friday nights we would have the different little po' boys and whatnot. But Monday through Friday was basically a scheduled meal. So you would have Monday where it was red beans. You would eat that for a couple of days. Wednesday would be kind of spaghetti. For a couple of days, and then come Friday, it would be seafood, seafood plates or platters, either fried or boiled. So that's the type of foods we ate on a weekly basis.
So what was it like going to that corner store, and what were some of the things that I bought? I just remember going and buying candy. Like, first of all, I was young. I just remember like being at the counter level and seeing the jars. I used to sit on the counter, and it would be like the yellow Now and Laters, the pink ones, whatever the color they had, and we would just grab candy out of the jar and pay for it if we had money. There wasn't any like real food. There might have been hot food there, I can't remember, but there wasn't like fruits or vegetables or any kind of fresh food that was sold there.
Having a small farm in our yard, we definitely, and my father being a good old country boy, we had to work. So you would get eggs, pick the vegetables from the garden, but we also used to have a gentleman that drove around, more to show you heard of Mr. Okra. So they would
Mr. Okra, oh my gosh, so he actually just passed
away.
Yeah, I heard a lot about him.
Right, and we had a lot of people who would drive around the neighborhoods, selling vegetables. You didn't really have a lot of the fresh markets, as they say, but everything that was bought from here was always local, and then we would have friends who would come by. Somebody would grow mustard greens in their yard. Somebody would grow snap beans or green beans, as most people know it, in their yards, So that's what it was growing up.
Yeah, but like I would say different people in my family circle taught me how to cook different things. I can cook. I'm working on cooking more. Having a stressful job, it is way easier to get off of work, grab something to eat, go home, either heat it up or just have takeout. But again, just working on being conscious and mindful of what I put in my body, and that starts with preparing my own meals.
I do know how to cook. I would say watching my father and my mother. My father actually was the cook of the family. he would cook more than my mother would. So from him, my sisters learned how to cook. And again, me being the youngest child and the only boy, I would watch them. I was forced to watch them. It wasn't a choice really, you know, I would watch them. So I would say from my father, my mother, and my sisters, you know, that's how I learned about cooking.
I remember when I lived in Atlanta for about 5 years, and when I moved back home in 2012, there was no grocery store in the 7th Ward, like the heart of the 7th Ward. The Circle Food store hadn't opened back up because, you know, it was completely destroyed after Katrina. That hadn't opened back up, and there was no place, because that's where people in the 7th Ward used to go. They used to walk to the Circle Food store. They would go and get their bell peppers when they wanted to cook for Easter, because the Circle had the best deal on bell peppers. But none of that was there. And remember I was telling you about the brown building on St. Bernard that we used to get commodities from. But right across the street in 2012, they were opening up a Dollar General Market. So I was like, oh, you know, we're going to get a grocery store. Like, it's about time, you know, I can shop there. I'm excited. I'm not too sure about the idea of a Dollar General, but we're going to get something. So it took a little while for it to open up, and finally, about 2012, maybe early 13, it opened. And I said, I wonder what it's like in there. And for any grocery store that's about to open up, you usually see like advertisements on the outside talking about the specials that they have on vegetables, the meat specials, but whatever is being sold inside to draw people in. The only sign that they had outside the store was, we sell cigarettes.
Katrina definitely had an impact on those areas, especially the 7th Ward. So, you know, a lot of homes were destroyed, so a lot of people who grew up in those areas left. When they left, a bit of the culture left. So we used to have restaurants in the 7th Ward. We had Chez Elaine, you had Eddie's restaurant, and a lot of, even Bill Cosby had Eddie's, you know, and you know, we had a lot of different restaurants that were people from that area, and even the grocery stores. You know, we had Winn-Dixie, and we had a few other neighborhood grocery stores. So with all of those different things departing, the 7th Ward, the culture has changed. Now, you know, yes, I do have a few friends whose parents still live around there, but it's so many different people that live there now. It's just, when you drive through there, you used to be able to smell the neighborhood. When you smell the neighborhood, you could smell the food cooking. And whenever I pass through there, because I live uptown, whenever I pass through there to go visit friends or go see, you know, see loved ones, it's just not the same. And I can honestly say that the food played a major part. Food plays a major role. Many people do not realize that the types of foods we eat affect our body differently. So if you eat, let's say, natural carbohydrates, which, you know, come from nuts and legumes and plants as well, your body feels so much cleaner, and you're able to perform at a level that not even whatever the best pill that they sell you or the best supplement they sell you can do, you know.
That, like, you're molded as a child, so all of those behaviors are learned, all of those behaviors are taught, and that wasn't necessarily something that was, like, physical activity wasn't instilled in me because it was optional.
It was optional.
It was optional. I'm trying to get to the point where I'm eating to live and not living to eat. Because I think for a lot of people, especially in New Orleans, there's a community around food. And it's not always necessarily a community around your zucchini, spinach, vegetables, lean meats and proteins, but it's a community around our high sausage po' boys, gotta have that. It's a community around our festival food, it's a community around our crawfish. So it's difficult living in New Orleans and trying to get out of the mindset of our social circles and our social activities revolve around food.
Hey guys, so I'm currently in the 7th Ward, right in front of the Hank's supermarket. I know that they're really known for their fried chicken, but they do have a hot bar, so let's go take a look and see what they're serving for the hot bar and for folks in the 7th Ward community, all right? So let's go in right now. Okay, so what we see here is some really nice fruit actually. Like they have some mangoes, some limes, some lemons, avocado, apples, oranges. That's awesome. So if you go back in the back here, they have a frozen section as well with some different things that you can, like, I guess, microwavables. Lavash. That looks like almost like a naan bread, so that's really good. Oh, and they have gnocchi as well. Gnocchi is really good. Some Ezekiel bread, low sodium, very, very nice. Some box pizza. Tomatoes, oranges, lemons, pineapples, eggplants, lemons, potatoes, some cauliflower. And then up here we have some green pepper and some more mangoes. And there's some romaine lettuce. Milk, half and half. Look at here. We all have some tofu. You can do a really nice stir fry with that. Some cheddar cheese, mozzarella cheese, cheddar cheese, some hummus. And you all have the ice cream section. And then here's your fried chicken bar. Fried chicken, fried chicken, fried chicken. Which I'm not really surprised because on the title outside it says that they are known for their fried chicken. And actually I know someone who have eaten here before. So it looks like a fresh salad bar as well, which is really nice. Maybe you can get like a burger made here. They have breakfast, po' boys, seafood po' boys, side orders, French fries, onion rings, potato salad, coleslaw, meat pie, crawfish pie, corn dog, shrimp egg roll, biscuit, stuffed crab, and nuggets. They have like buns and pitas and tortillas and bread here. They also have cereal down here. They have all these Goya beans. These are some really good beans here, pink beans. They are Caribbean, so you can do a lot of things with those. That's awesome. And look, when we turn the corner, look what we have. LaCroix. And then they also have like a little Asian section as well. You got all your different sauces here, your pad thai noodles, then some ramen, Thai noodles. Alright, so I'm back in the car here. The Hank Supermarket. I was pleasantly surprised of the options that they offer the 7th and 9th Ward community members or whomever else go into the market. They have a lot of a variety of different fruits and vegetables, as you saw in the video. They have different mangoes and apples and oranges and things of that nature, which is amazing. The mango and tomatoes, I see you can make like a really nice mango salsa with maybe a little cilantro. That's awesome. And then you saw the frozen section as well. They offer a variety of different breads, Ezekiel bread, cheeses. That was really nice to see. And then of course you saw the fried chicken section. The fried chicken section, that's what they're known for. There's their fried chicken and their hot bar. But they had variety at the hot bar. They had all the different items for like a salad or for a burger. They had the menu for seafood po' boys and shrimp po' boys and different kind of po' boys, which is awesome. If that's the kind of thing that you like and maybe you want to like get a treat but not an everyday kind of thing. I really like when you actually went between the aisles. They had specific sections for different minorities. They had a Spanish section. They also had a Asian section, and they have variety there where you can go into there and find things that you are used to, such as your noodles, your ramen, your different beans and things like that. It was really, really cool to see what they offer these community members in this store. And like I said, they have heavy foot traffic in that store, so a lot of people go there to get their produce and their things. The only thing that I did not see was a meat section or a protein section, but I do know right down the street there is like the Circle Mart where they have a really big protein section. It's not too far from Hank's Supermarket, so they can go down the street and get their protein. And then if they're walking, or if they have lack of transportation, or they just don't have the funds, they can go to the Hank's Supermarket and get some really good produce and some other options such as cheeses and fruits and things like that. So it was really awesome to go in there and just kind of check out and see what they have and what they offer these community members.